We're going to start building his clothes, and so the first thing we'll tackle is his T-shirt. There's many ways to go about building clothes in ZBrush. The way I'm going to show is just by kind of we're gonna start by duplicating this the whole body mesh, and we'll get rid of the areas that we don't want. Which will basically give us our T-shirt, and then will give us the T-shirt shape, and then we'll basically extract from that, which will give us both sided geo that we'll need. And so just moving forward, if you just follow along, this is the way that I like to build the clothing for these types of characters, mainly the stylized characters. And so this would be considered stylized in the clothing area, so that's the route I'm kind of going with this. We can add maybe some wrinkles and whatnot, but if I was gonna actually make it look a little more realistic, I'd probably go over to Marvelous Designer and design the clothes. But for this type of stylized character, we'll just build it and build the clothing and extract. And we can add a little detail here and there, but we'll build the belt buckle, pants, and the T-shirt and socks and shoes kind of the same way. And shoes, obviously, we'll build those out separately, but we'll get started on just building this shirt out. So to get started, I'm just going to select that. Actually, I'm going to select this head geo, and I'm just going to I'm actually going to just duplicate this and going to rename this to T-shirt. And from here, I'll go to turn on the polyframe, and I'm going to just basically hide the poly groups that I don't want in this group right here. Since we have a majority of all these still in polygroup form, that we can still just basically go in here and select and hide these polygroups that we don't want. And so with that, actually going to also, I'm just going to turn off this layer so I don't see that layer, or the folder, anything in that folder, which is the eyeballs, hair, and then the whole body from the base mesh that we have. So just still going through here, hiding the polygroups that I don't want to see in here. And so the ears, I think that should be a majority, just giving us basically a form with the T-shirt. And so with this, I'm going to actually just do a Control W, which will give us this all in its own polygroup. And so when we bring this other piece back, and we can see that we kind of have the basics of the T-shirt and how we're going to just extract and give this a little bit of depth. And so with that, I'm actually going to shrink the arms, go in here and actually just delete the poly loop here, and just go in through here and delete these poly loops. Just one poly loop is probably sufficient. And so with that, I'm actually going to solo this as well. And then I'll probably just get rid of, not that piece. And let's see. From here, actually I'm going to turn on double so I can see what I've got right now. And so from here, I'm actually going to go in here and just mask lasso. So holding that control key down, and just going to mask this part off. And then also in Shane's menu, if you say split unmasked points was just going to give us the t-shirt. Oh, actually, first thing we want to do is, so everything else that's kind of hidden right now, we want to get rid of because we don't need it. And so from here, if we go delete hidden, and that should just be the t-shirt currently, which is fine. So from here, I'm actually going to just select these arms, select this part of the arm, actually just frame this up and zoom in a little bit so I can see a little better, and then just mask this off again. And then from here, go into the 3D Character Workshop menu and actually say split unmasked parts. And so that will actually split that piece off. And then so here we can actually we can delete this one, and then that should just give us the t-shirt shape that we're looking for. And then unsolo, and I'm just going to leave the polyframe on for now. And from here, we can actually just inflate this up just a little bit. And so, or we can either stay and keep it one-sided, but I kind of want a little bit of depth with that. So if we select this extract from this, it should give us a new shape, which actually puts a little depth on that t-shirt. And so the thickness is a little high to my liking. So if I go 0.1 and we just say extract and OK, and that shows the depth that we're kind of getting, which is kind of what I'm looking for in the depth of this t-shirt. So I'm going to say accept, and that should give us, yeah, that gives us the depth that we're kind of looking for that t-shirt. And if we go back to, this is the extraction that we got, and this is the first one. So if we go and see, I'm just going to show the difference, okay? And so this one's single-sided, and I have double turned on just so we can see those inner polys. They're just double-sided. If we were to just leave this as one-sided, you could actually just select these and just put a little a border edge along these, and then that would kind of go into the skin basically. But for now, I'm just going to actually just build it as two-sided, as two-sided piece, like with that extraction. This is kind of fast and easy to get that depth put in there. But you'll see if I go over to the extraction, you can see that it inflated it a little bit, and then it also puts those inner polygons. See, if I turn double off, you can still see that it puts the inside polygons in there as well. So if I was to go in here and actually so this is actually the inside. So if I double this is the inner of the t-shirt. So if I go in here, if I wanted to delete that, I could just go in and select that inner, and then actually go and split unmasked points again, and then, oh, actually, we'd want to duplicate this. Actually, I'm just going to keep it how it is, just with everything being double-sided. We're getting, or the inner mesh is actual geo. We'll just keep it like that for now. And so with this t-shirt, I'm actually going to just delete this one. And so this, the extraction, I'm going to want to rename, and I'll name this t-shirt. T-shirt. All right, and then we'll unsolo that and turn off the line, or the polyframe. And so we can see that the t-shirt is basically kind of what we just kind of build that t-shirt right onto him. And from here, I'm actually just going to add some poly paint, some just simple poly paint. So with that head, or with the body, so if I alt click on that body, it becomes the active subtool, and I'm gonna just add like a basic skin color. And this is, I like to have like a little bit of reddish, like in between the red and orange, and then somewhere around in here. This a decent like white person skin color, I guess. If you want, obviously darker skin color, you just can kind of move it into a darker skin color. This is for this drawing, obviously it's Caucasian, so anyway, so here we go, and so we just fill that object, and for now it's going to fill every object that color. So what we want to do is actually just go to, say, our t-shirt. So we'll select our t-shirt subtool, and we're going to actually, if you if you push Z and go into the spotlight projection, you can actually just, if you left click on your color and actually drag and pick over your image or whatever, you'll get that exact color. And that's kind of what I'm looking for now. And so if you just fill that object, it's actually going to fill the t-shirt, but then his eyes and his hair are also that color. So we also need to make those changes as well. If we hold down Alt and select those eyes, that eye subtool, if you go to your color, and usually not full white, but just a little, and I also like to pick the blue, and then just like a little gray. It's not so much super gray, or it's not super white, it has just a little bit of gray color to it. And so I'll fill the eyes with that color, which is kind of what I'm looking for now. And the hair, I'm actually going to Alt select that hair and then go to if I want that exact color, I can just hit Z, bring up the spotlight projection, and then look for kind of a color that I'm looking for that hair color, and then fill that object as well. So with that in mind, that's kind of what we have right now. And so we'll move to the pants next. Actually, the first thing that we're going to want to do is actually save our subtool, or save our tool. And so with this one, I'm actually just going to go to add 7 on here. So this is kind of the 7.3 vision that I've worked on with this one. And so for now, we'll actually move to the pants and model those out now.